y'all. How you doing today? We had so much rain, but it's Mary Kay Smooth. I I'm here today to mess with you. Um I have been running around a little bit today. Um I During the pandemic, I don't know if you could see it good. During the pandemic, my earring got caught on a mask and I ripped my earlobe. And I let it healed, and I didn't go directly to the I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to send a link to somebody. Okay, I got it. I didn't go directly to the hospital because actually it didn't hurt, and I didn't know that I had ripped my ear. And by the time I figured it out, it was like a day later. And because my ear started to heal, insurance wouldn't cover it. So I let it all the way heal, and it's been a couple of years now. And since I got cute, I'm sorry, I'm turning this off. Since I got cute, y'all, I want to wear earrings, and I have a top hole, but it's not the same. Because I used to wear two earrings, a stud and something, or something, dangling and something hoopy. And now I want to get down and I can't. So I went for a consult, and them jokers want 2 grand. So I'm looking around a little bit, and that's where I went today. I am I have to do everything today. So I might as well get started. Uh, and next Monday, I start boot camp. So, it's back to the grind. It was such a wonderful summer. But boot camp should be fun. It usually is. It doesn't feel like it's going to be when you first start it, because you want to just relax. And the good thing is it's virtual except for the 13th, because I go in because demoing a product that we need them to have hands on. So they're the teachers that are taking it are coming in to one of the schools. And you see, I'm in the cleansing. The cleansing. You know what? I found yeah, Maria. I found a picture today, and it was a dermatologist, and she said, you can't see it. Let me read it to you. It says, going to bed with makeup on can age your skin up to 7 times faster than normal. Toxins and pollutants remain on the skin if you do not cleanse each night. So don't forget to wash your face at night. It's Dr. Karen Harkaway, dermatologist. See, I caused my own aging. I was washing, but not at night. I was washing when take a shower. Anytime I took a shower or a bath, I was washing my face. So I was aging myself. I'd probably be looking still young, youthful, and beautiful. Now I got to do the retinol to reverse the aging. I have to use anti-aging products. So I'm telling you now, the cleansing Can't beat it. You got to do it in the morning and at night. Even if you don't wear makeup, you heard what I just read, pollutants. And you know where I'm in the Northeast. We got extra pollutants. We have 3 airports here. We got the port. We got refineries. You hear me? And we got a lot of industrial. So I'm telling you, we have to cleanse. Now, today, I was having a conversation, had somebody crying, laughing, because we were talking about training, being trained, and how the young people, I feel sad sometimes because in my area, there have been institutions that did a lot of training. And when I say training, I mean job training. Was it for executive levels? No, but it was for entry levels, and you got to work your way from there. If even if you graduate from college, a lot of times you're still going entry level unless you come out with something that's very a skill that's very valuable, technology. You know, uh, because now it costs so much to go to college. It could cost 50,000 easy to go to college now, and just for 1 year. For 1 year. Um, so the good thing is that the kids now aren't all college bound. They don't think college is the only way, because now they think entrepreneurial. They think I got to grow my brand. They're looking at technology, ways you to use technology and jump to the front of the line, plus the music and stuff like that. So me and another welderly, were talking about the lack of training, and sometimes training can take on another it can take on another fold, because when you say training, job training, most people think about the skills that you need to do the job. And sometimes what I see when I'm looking at young workers in all fields, when I joined IBM in the early 80s. I know you're going, gosh, she's old as hell. Yes, I'm 66. I can't deny it. I'm a welderly. I'm still an old person that kicks ass, though. So when I joined IBM, we came in behind. I'm at the tail end of what they call baby boomers. But a lot of the baby boomers that were in front of me got to take advantages of some of the civil rights things that came out. And when we would go to some of them that were managers and higher up levels, they said to us, we can't help you because it will appear that we're helping Black people only. But it was okay for white people to help white people. I mean, we needed help. We weren't trying to get something for nothing. We were working. We just didn't know how to climb the ladder. And then there's other things. There's intangibles like these. I know you're saying, why is she showing us bracelets? I was told at IBM if I couldn't take off the bracelets and stop coloring my nails, that I would not be promoted. And I was told that by a Black man. So there's intangibles when you're joining companies for all kids, all the young people, because now they've relaxed dressing. People dress like they're going to a club all the time. We didn't have that. I came in the 80s. I'll tell you, in the 70s, women wore white gloves like you used to wear to church. And you guys don't even know that we used to wear white gloves to church. So imagine when you had to wear white gloves to work. Pants, we couldn't wear pants. I couldn't wear pants to school until the 70s. So you guys can't get with that. We had black and white TV until like 62. I think is when we got color TV. And we got a console in our basement, and we stayed down that joker, me and my sister, watching color TV. And it was giving off radiation. And you guys couldn't even watch black and white TV. And then TV was free. Now TV is not free. Um, Pay-per-view was a boxing thing that I think, I can't remember, you can't hold me to this, but I do believe Don King and them, the bot was the beginning of pay-per-view. I think Don King was the king of pay-per-view, to be exact. Um and I'm getting my retinol ready, guys. You know what I'm doing if you ever watched me before. And so there's other intangibles. That's what I'm getting to. And intangibles, I'm going to tell you a story about Daddy. My father wrote a program called SOS, Suspension on Site. I'd say he wrote it in the 80s. And it was for kids that were chronically suspended. They took the kids out of the mainstream, and Daddy had a whole staff of teachers and support. He had a nurse, he had a psychiatrist, he had English teacher, math teacher, all of that. And what they did was they found, my father was very good at watching a child's behavior and figuring out kind of what was going on and how he could get to that child and get to the problem to see if he could make it, the dysfunction, go away, or at least get it under control and help the child to deal with it and handle it. And he and his Mr. Robinson that you hear me talk about was he was the math teacher. Mr. Robinson was a whiz at math. All the guys from the playground know Mr. Rob, and he was a math teacher. He was the bomb. Daddy was a science teacher, later was assistant to the principal, and later than that, he was the director of SOS. So the program was successful. Daddy was able to take students out of the mainstream and in a certain amount of time put them back in the mainstream, and they would become successful students because he found that it was usually some kind of dysfunction. I wear Coke bottle glasses, so kids tease me. So I got contacts now. And they're working on my self-esteem. Maybe it was something going on in the home, and Daddy would get the parents in, they resolve it, or they got them in a place where they could get help to resolve it. And his kids were doing good. But Daddy also tried to deal with some of the intangibles. So Daddy, after his first year, Daddy did not know this is his first time getting a grant. And his grant came from the Victoria Foundation, which is named after Victoria Chubb from Chubb Insurance Company. So Daddy, the first year, Daddy had $82, I think it was, and some change left. And he, being honest, sent a check back to the Victoria Foundation for the 80 something dollars. So one day, there at West Kenny, that's where he started the program. And a limousine pulls up to West Kenny. And as God would have it, it was Victoria Chubb. And she came, she said, I've been doing this foundation for many years, and I've never had anyone send me the change. So I had to come down here and see what kind of man this was that sent me the change. And when she came, Daddy was taking the kids to a restaurant around the corner called Boaz. A lot of Black people used to go there primarily for breakfast, but he was taking the kids, and he got Mr. Boaz to put tablecloths and a real setting so he could teach his kids to eat properly at the table. And so he was teaching them about the setting when Miss Chubb came in, and she was elderly then. She was a welderly, and she said, "Mr. Johnson, what are you teaching the kids?" And he said, "Well, I'm teaching them how to eat with a full service of utensils." And she said, "Mr. Johnson, I used to teach etiquette." So she taught the kids. She said, "May I?" And he let her teach the kids that day. And then from then on, and she came back, she said, "I'll be back in a couple of weeks." And she took the kids to Tavern on the Green in New York. And she did that every year until she retired. So I say this because learning to eat with a full set of utensils is something additional. It's not something that people might think is important, just like they might not think dressing for business is important. How you perform, how you talk, how you act when you're doing business, whether you're doing business for someone else's corporate, for public sector, or for your own business, you do want to know how to handle yourself so that it doesn't interfere with you making your money. And that sometimes in our community is not remembered. So I say that to say, look at what being honest, which Daddy was, bought for his school. Besides her paying for the program, she came and taught the kids. They were taught by a millionaire woman etiquette. She didn't have to do that, and she definitely didn't have to take them to Windows of the World for like another 9 years. So we were talking about how you have to, at IBM we had to dress properly, we had to act properly. You wouldn't have lasted. And we had to really be better than good at our job. But that what I learned at IBM, my family taught me work ethic. But all the skills that I learned at IBM still carry me today. Look at, I'm teaching teachers how to use technology in the classroom. I was working at IBM in '82 when the personal computer came out. Now IBM, honestly, we messed that up. IBM owned every company that put a part in that. We owned a part of the chip company. We had our own operating system, but we also owned stock in Microsoft. We owned stock in Intel. We had, we should have been like the Bell system and got an antitrust suit on the PC, but we got too comfortable. And when the balance sheet started to mess up, we sold off stock that we owned that were part of the computer, the personal computer. So I saw it go from a big giant thing to what it is to the laptops and the tablets and stuff. That was an exciting time for me, and all that I learned there helps me today in my life and at my job. And that's the intangibles that is not being taught to our kids today. I had a program in Elizabeth. I have to give credit to um, um, County Freeholder, Granados, and these are the ones that I know. There may have been more behind the scenes. And board member Maria Carvalho, because they got a program funded, and my boss at that time was Tracy Espiritu. And we dreamed that we would be able to, and my boss, the director or the CIO of Elizabeth Public Schools, Alberto Marçal, we dreamed that we could train students to repair equipment, laptops and desktops, and be able to make their way around the technology, the hardware that we had installed in Elizabeth. And I got the pleasure of teaching those kids, and the funding included a $10 an hour stipend for my kids. I had Mr. Donald Stewart. He got the kids together. He did their working papers and everything for the district. It was not a district run program. It was funded by the county or the state through the county, and the United Way was the company that maintained, that did all the money that they got from the state. Okay, so I taught kids to repair laptops and desktops, and they had, in order to be a part of the program, they also had to take a self-study course for Microsoft certification, Microsoft Office I'm talking about. And that's an adult certification. It's not a kid certification. At In the schools of Elizabeth, it was offered. I don't know that it still is. It was offered as an advanced placement course. So I had 30 kids from March to June, from 3:30 to 6:30, 5 days a week. So they made $150 a week, plus they had to sit for that exam and pass in order to work in the summer and go from 15 hours to 35 hours. So my kids were able to make $150 a week and then later make $350 a week for the summer. Now, they passed the exam. You could pick whether you wanted to take Excel, um, uh, Word, or PowerPoint, or more than one. It was up to the kid, but they had to pass one section. And in the summer, when we went to the 35 hours, my kids were able to assist the technicians of Elizabeth in what they call re-imaging all of the pre-K through 8 computers. We have over 28,000 computers in the district. And the high school, I would say the high school has at least 10,000. Let's say 10,000, because I think it was 18,000 laptops that we were responsible for to help, and summer school. And I'm going to give Louis Ferreira a shout out, because I got to a point where I had 6 kids that were so fly. I mean, they were so good that I needed to break them off and give them someone that could really challenge them a little bit more, because I had 30 and another teacher with me, another coach. And Louis took these 6 kids and he came back and he said, "Girl, I love this." He took care of those 6 kids, and he said, "That one right there, I want him to help me with summer school." And that little girl, I have one girl, I call them the Fabulous Six. They were on top of it. You hear me? And the girl, he said, that girl, I taught them to change keyboards and she could change 3 to hour 1. And I said, how you doing this, sweetheart? And she said, it's just 38 screws, Mr. Ferreira. And those kids, we had fun. They did work, and we saved the district a lot of money because they didn't have to hire a vendor to assist them in re-imaging the pre-K through 8 computers. And the high school kids in Elizabeth had to, before the pandemic, were already taking their computers home. So that was not a problem. Where the pre-K through 8, we had those carts in the room, the charging carts. So the kids were working 2 techs and 5 kids did a school, and we had 5 different teams out in the district, and my kids were running from room to room because we learned what responsibility is. I told them what behavior I expected from them. They understood. I tried to make sure that there was nothing in their way to keep them from doing what they needed to do. No phones, no cigarettes, no nothing, just work. And they focused, and I made them realize, look, you got an opportunity to make $350 a week. Don't mess this up. This is like a great opportunity for some high school kids. I had some freshmen all the way to seniors, and all of those kids, we only did the program once because the pandemic came, and all of those kids are involved in technology one way or another. I got and I had kids that were more hardware oriented. I had some kids who were software oriented. I mean, they were doing their thing. We even had one kid scored a perfect score on Microsoft certification and got to represent the state of New Jersey in a national event. She got letters from all of the politicians, including Governor Murphy, Sheila Oliver, Lieutenant Governor, the czar of education, all of the freehold. It was beautiful. And that's the because those kids were able to understand this extra stuff on the side. They didn't get distracted. And it helps them when they go to college to understand what to do, and when they go to technical school, and when they go to work. One of those kids is working for Google in Canada right now. I got one of those kids is working for Deloitte Touche, the top accounting firm in the world, doing their Azure desk. So I feel very proud of them, and that just shows you what, if you teach people the ancillary stuff, then they go in there and you don't have to have every skill in the world when you go, but you got to have the ancillary stuff so that you can stay in the job, so they don't try to fire you because you're not acting appropriate. You're cussing at work, you're loud, or you're not dressing properly. So you take away the things that they can say to not let you succeed. So that was our conversation today. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Mary Kay Smooth. Watch the rest of the Olympics. It's really, I mean, there was so many Jersey kids in there. There's a lot of Jersey kids in the Olympics. Google it. I'm very proud of New Jersey.